Okay, turn it off. That's all we can afford.
What's going on, you guys? Steve here. And I'm really excited because today I'm going to be showing you how to play Virtual On the right way. Today I'm going to be playing Virtual On Oratorio Tangram for the Dreamcast on original hardware with a twin stick controller. I can't say it enough, this is one of my favorite games of all time. This is definitely a top 10 all-timer. It's very unique, it's very satisfying, it's very different. I think this game is worth showcasing and raising awareness in the West. There's a lot of people who make reviews for this game, but they don't play using a twin stick, and it's a twin stick arcade game, so you're just playing it wrong if you don't play it this way. The twin stick was a Japanese exclusive, so it's pretty rare. It's hard to come by, especially in the West. Yeah, let's get into it. So let's go over the basics. In Virtual On, the standout mechanic is the movement. Your movement is what sets you apart. It's going to make or break this game for you. It's going to be the determining factor between if you're eating a bunch of damage or if you're crushing it against the other person. And there's a couple different things that you can do for your movement. As far as the basic movement, you have the left stick that you can move in any direction, 8 directions. You move very slow. If you use both sticks in the same direction, you move a little faster. He does this kind of run, but that's not going to be your standard movement. There's only a boss fight within the arcade run where you're going to need the slower movement to kind of thread the needle between lasers and stuff. But other than that, you're not going to use this slow walking movement. Your standard movement is going to be dashing. You can do ground dashes or air dashes, and you do that by moving the stick into a direction and pressing the turbo buttons on the top of either twin stick. You only need to press one, either the left or the right. They both do the same thing. So let's do a right dash. I'm going to press the dash and move to the right. You can do this to the left, backwards, forward. You can also do this diagonally. So you have 8 ways to dash. You can also do this in the air. If you want to jump, you move both sticks outward, away from each other. You also have a double jump. You just move them outward twice, very fast. And if you want to do an air dash, you jump and dash in any direction. You have to do this movement pretty fast, otherwise it's not going to recognize it. So immediately after the jump. I'm not sure about the exact name, but you can dash and shift directions like that. You do this by starting a dash in any direction and moving either stick back to neutral. You can do this with the left or right stick. Make sure it moves back to neutral and pick a direction. You can only do it within a 90-degree radius. So you can't do it from left to right, front to back. You can only do it in a 90-degree motion. You can also do this in the air. It has that come down speed. If you notice when you jump, he moves down pretty slow. That is punishable. So a way to circumvent that is what's called a jump cancel. You do this by jumping up and immediately closing the sticks back inward to come down. You can do this to evade projectiles, and it also recenters the camera. So let's say I move away from the opponent and they're off screen. I'm in a position where I can't protect myself. I can't see if they're chucking anything at me, if they're going to attack. So if I want to recenter the character no matter where they are on the map, I do a jump cancel and that resets the camera. It does have manual turning as well, and you do that by shifting one of the sticks down and the other stick up, and vice versa. If you want to turn to the left, you turn the left stick down and the right stick up, or the complete opposite, right stick down, left stick up. The game also has a dash cancel, and you do that by starting a dash and hitting the turbo again, and it stops you instantly. So there's a lot of different ways that you can weaponize your movement. You have your left weapon for the left trigger. Your right trigger is your right weapon. Spam that. And then your center weapon, which is both triggers together for a heavy. This game also introduced turbo weapons, and you can achieve those by pressing the turbo and the trigger at the same time. So your right trigger and your turbo together, it makes a beam for Temjin. And your left turbo weapon, it chucks a long-range grenade. And if you notice when you do these attacks, it has a cooldown at the bottom of the screen. You can only do these attacks when your meter is at 50% or above. When you're at 100%, you can do 2, but you can only get 1 off when you're above 50. When you're below 50, it doesn't work. It's not going to come out. Your right weapon is going to be a pretty high damage knockdown. You can shoot those head on, or you can turn to the side and shoot them off. A lot of people do that in competitive play. That's a pretty good way to trap your opponent and keep them in a corner or a specific area of the map. Because if you run into this beam, it's going to connect and do damage. So you can do that and then do some type of movement to keep them over here. And you can work with them on this left side of the screen. There's a couple more options with your turbo weapons. You can use the left turbo and the right trigger, and that gives you this kind of SMG type laser. Or with the opposite, the left trigger and the right turbo, it gives you this overhead aerial grenade. So there's a couple different ways you can mix and match your attacks. So those are your projectiles. As far as your melees, there's several melee attacks that you can do. When you get within close range, you can notice those yellow bars at the bottom of the screen, and that indicates that you're within the melee range. So for melees, all you have to do is hit either trigger, and you have an automated attack. Your center does a little more damage, but there's a longer startup. So it is punishable, it can be evaded, you can read this. Each of the 3 does a different variation for melees. You also have a crouching melee. You do that by pressing the sticks inward to go into a guarding position. And you can achieve a low. Once you get the knockdown on the opponent, you can also do another hit. So if you notice, once the person hits the ground, one of the bars turns green. And when it turns green, you're within the window to do that knockdown damage. It's a very small window, so you have to be very precise. You also have a jump melee, and you achieve this by doing a jump. You press both sticks outward and a trigger at the same time. And he does a jump slash. All 3 do the same move. There's no variation with your jump melees, but your ground melees, there's a bunch of variation. If you get within close range during a dash, you can strike. Like that. And if you notice, they have invincibility frames when they're waking up, where they're flickering. And when they're in that state, you can be attacked. So it's not the best idea to stay super close to an opponent after a knockdown. So once you knock them down, you get that damage on the ground. The best thing you can do is evade and create space, because see, I tried to attack and it didn't do anything. But they can attack you. So that's very dangerous. Each character has 1 or 2 super moves, and you can achieve these through a series of button combinations with full meter. So if I use my right turbo weapon, you can see my meter is low. I cannot do my super until it reaches 100 for all 3 meters. I'm using my center and my left. Now my right. I can't do a super in this state. I have to wait for all of them to reach 100. Now I can. So the Temjin super is an aerial attack. Jump. You do a jump dash, and in the middle of the dash, you press both triggers. It's different for all characters. They're not the same, but this is his specific super. So in the middle of a dash, you do that. If you hit the wall, it cancels out. I believe he has another one where you turn with both triggers. Yeah. If you're turning with both triggers and 100% meter, he does that slashing kind of tornado attack. Those are essentially the basics, the core mechanics of Virtual On Oratorio Tangram. This is one of my favorite games ever. I really enjoy this game. It's very satisfying, it's very fun to play. I understand the twin stick is a tough sell for people. This game is very niche, it's very old, and the twin stick is pretty hefty, it's pretty expensive. But yeah, I appreciate this game, I enjoy it, and yeah.